Hello Lovelies, it's Avery here, and today I am with
Emma from Lions and Tigers and Books Oh My.
And we are going to do a collab today. We are going to do the Opposites book tag, and I just pulled this one off the internet, so we're just going to do this one real quick. The first question is the first book you bought and the last book that you bought. Would you like to go first?
Sure. Probably the first book that I bought was probably Harry Potter. I don't really remember, but that's just a guess. Probably, because Harry Potter was probably like, I got my allowance money, I'm like, let's go to Harry Potter. The last book I bought was here at the Texas Teen Book Festival, and that would probably be, well, I got 3, but the one that I think was last on my checkout, to be super specific, was Dumplin'. So, yeah.
The first book that I bought, I can't really remember, but I think it was a Cassie West book I bought at like a Scholastic book fair at my middle school. And then the last book I bought was here as well, and I bought
When Dimple Met Rishi?
When Dimple Met Rishi. That's
that one
the
was
one.
a cute one.
I'm really excited to read it. The second question is a cheap book and an expensive book. I'll start, and I think a cheap book that I bought is probably like, it was like really slim, and I bought it on like $2 for, Sweet Evil. I bought that one at Half Price Books, and it was like $3, I think. And then a really expensive book was probably one of the Throne of Glass books, because they're really expensive. They're like $22 not on sale, so.
So the cheapest book I probably got, which is a whole bunch of them, I like to go to Goodwill. I don't know if anybody else does that, like on here, if you do that. But Goodwill sometimes has really, really good ones. They're like $1 each, and $2 for a hardback, $1 for paperback, depending on where you live. So I go over there a lot and try to pick out good ones. But my most expensive book would probably be my first signed edition of Harry Potter. I can't remember which one it is off the top of my head. I think it's the 5th one. That's really bad that I don't remember which one it is. But I found it at like a used bookstore, and it was really expensive because it was first. And it was a UK edition too. I was like, but I had to do it.
Got it. Question number 3 is a book with a male protagonist and a book with a female protagonist.
The only one with a male protagonist that I can think of right now is like the Alex Rider series. I don't know why that one popped in my head, but it did. I read that like a long, long time ago, like back in middle school. But I guess for the female protagonist, I'll just do Kiera Cass, The Selection. She's a female protagonist. Yes. Why not?
I think the one that pops into my head is like Percy Jackson and Harry Potter, because they're both from like boys' point of views, and that's like main thing in YA right now is just those for male point of view. Everything else is mostly girl point of view that I can think of at the moment. I mostly read contemporary, so a bunch of contemporaries are all just female point of view.
Yeah, true, there's a lot of female and not as many male. I don't know why I didn't think of Harry Potter or Percy Jackson, even though I just like mentioned Harry Potter.
Question number 4 is a book that took you a short time to read and a book that took you a long time to read.
I'm trying to think now. Now it's like on the spot. Which one took me a long time? I'm a really slow reader, so pretty much any book that I read takes me a really long time. Though I kind of cheated and listened to the audiobook too, which might have been why. But I did read And I Darken, and it took me a day and a half. But I did have the audiobook, but everything else normally takes me like a week at least, or like 2 weeks. But audiobooks, they're the key to success, people. Key to success. Wow, I can't talk either.
Okay, longest book.
I don't know, longest book.
Like
just anything, I guess.
That took you the longest to read.
Lord of Shadows, probably, because I just didn't want to put it down. Well, I did want to put it down, but I like didn't want to put it down. So I like kind of forced myself to put it down. I was like, you have to take at least a week on this. And so probably Lord of Shadows. Standing point.
Okay. The book that took me the fastest to read was The Heir. It came out like May 5th. I got it during lunch, and I read it till 3 o'clock. So it was like 3 hours I read The Heir in. Then that was like the day it came out because I had other books I wanted to read. And then the longest book has probably taken me a month. And it was okay for now, I think is what it was. And it was in middle school, and it was ridiculous, and I hated it. It took me a whole month to read, and it was my summer reading book. It was terrible.
Just you put it off, put it off.
No,
you just
I don't want to do it.
You have to.
Yeah. So the next question is a book with the prettiest cover and a book with the ugliest cover. I'd have to say for me, A Language of Thorns is super pretty right now, and I love just like the whole accents and designs on it. And an ugly cover, I really don't like the Vampire Academy books just because the faces are just so bad.
So, I don't know if a lot of people will agree with me, but I'm going to go ahead and say my ugliest cover is just going to be, like, what's it called? Jeez, I can't think of it. The Fault in Our Stars. I just honestly just really don't like it. It just seems really cheesy to me. I'm might be the only one who thinks that, but I think it's really cheesy. And I can't remember the exact name of it, but I think it's The Kingdom for Little Wounds for the prettiest cover. I just did a bookstagram on it, and I was like, I just want to take a million pictures of this book because it's so pretty. Like, just beautiful.
Next question is the thinnest book you have and the thickest book you have. I'll start, and my thickest ones are probably ACOWAR and ACOMOF are like the biggest ones I probably have. And then my smallest one is A Little Something Different by Sandy Hall. It's like 100 and something pages or like 200. It's so tiny and small, and it was so easy for me to read.
It's really hard to do without your bookshelf in front of you, but I'm going to just go ahead and guess that my smallest one is probably like The Great Gatsby because it's really, really tiny. And then my biggest one is probably going to be like Lord of Shadows or Stephen King's It, because that's over 1,000 pages. Yes. I think it's massive, so probably one of those two. It's big.
Question number 8 is your favorite fictional book and your favorite non-fictional book.
I guess I'll start that one because I have 2 already in my head. Just for the favorite fictional book, I'm going to go anything by Cassandra Clare because she is the queen, or by Colleen Hoover. That's not one book, sorry, but those are my 2 cop-out answers. And then my favorite non-fictional book would probably be Modern Romance by Aziz Ansari. It is so funny, and it's like has a bunch of like facts and stuff in it, which make it kind of an interesting read, but it's just hilarious. If you get your hands on the audiobook, again, audiobooks are awesome, people. He just adds in little comments, and it's so funny.
My favorite fictional books are always Shadow and Bone is my cop-out answer. I'm trying to think of a nonfiction book that I've read recently, but I can't. I really just read fiction. I don't read very many nonfiction. I read an essay at school the other day about turtles, and I really liked it. Does that count?
I didn't even think of it. My channel is named after my favorite book, which is fiction, which is The Wizard of Oz, and that's like my favorite fiction book. There you go. That one. I don't know why I didn't think of it.
Okay, question number 9. A book that was way too romantic and a book that was way too adventurous.
I don't think, if I'm going to read a romance book, then I want it to be romance. If it's adventure, I want it to be adventure.
But if it's too much adventure and there's not like slow pace, like it's so fast.
I'm going to say the one I probably just read, because it had a lot of like adventure, but not a lot of other things. Like her thing was just her journey, which is, it's the second book, and I can't think of the name. Oh, Now I Rise, I think. The first one was Anne Dark, and I can't remember the author right now. But it was like, they just kept going and going and going. As for romance, you can never have too little romance or too little romance. Romance is good anyway, put it.
Yes. Okay, I think too much romance. I read November 9 for me by Colleen Hoover has a lot of romance though, and I just feel like it didn't deal with some of the main topics. It was really cute and it was really like sweet and everything. I felt like they were too into each other at certain parts.
Yeah, I could see it.
And
but
then
I am a sucker for romance though.
And too adventurous. I have books that are just so fast paced that I don't know what's happening. And for right now, for me, that's Flash Tide by Jenny Moyer. I'm currently reading that one. I read Flashfall last year, and I loved it, but it was also very, very fast-paced, and then just kicking off Flash Tide is so fast. So
I haven't read the second one, but I agree with the first one. That one was really quick.
And question number 10, a book that made you happy and a book that made you very sad. For me, a book that made me very, very sad was The Program. It's by Suzanne Young, and I just remember crying through the whole book. It's a book about depression, and they're wiping memories of people, and it's just such a sad and depressing book that it just made me cry all the time. And then my funniest book, I really just laugh at a lot of books. But right now the one that's popping to my head is Kiss Cam. I just remember it being so funny and just crazy every minute. So
I kind of have a cop-out answer for the happiest book, Harry Potter. Just anytime I reread it, it's just I love Harry Potter. My saddest book is something, I know you're a YA channel, and I'm a YA channel too, but this is definitely not YA, so do not read it if you're under 18. I'm not even kidding, the book has a warning on it. It's by Colleen Hoover under her C. Hoover, because she doesn't want it with her other books because it was so intense. It's called Too Late. That book wrecked me for weeks, but like I said, if you're under 18, do not read it. You don't need to know that sort of stuff, but it was a really good book.
That was all the questions for this tag. Thank you all for watching. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe down below. I have an author interview coming up soon, so look forward to that in my next video. Thank you for being here with me today, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!